The finals just had its brand new World Tour update. We'll go over all the details there with that one, which does include some additional social updates. We have a few other dev mentionables that will include some stuff from the community, along with our last minute mentionables. We got a ton to talk about. What's up, world? It's Utopia back here within the video. Today we're checking out all things the finals. Let's just jump right into it. First up, as always, we do have Oscar back again with the updates, where he immediately opens it with Headhunter. That is the label for the World Tour update. Of course, this is the last week of the Alpha Octa, and they sign off their seasonal sponsorship with a new twist. And again, calling this Season 6 Headhunter. During this special game show event, the player on each team with the highest number of eliminations will have a bounty of 5,000 placed on their head. The better they play, the larger the reward and the larger the target. Every elimination they score boosts their bounty by 2,000. Take them out, their bounty goes straight to your team. Let them live and they'll cash in that full amount when the event ends at the 2-minute mark. So essentially every 2 minutes there, that is that bounty chase. And yes, alongside the cash out, it gets injected right into your team score. Again, depending on if you eliminate or if you have the bounty itself. The score does ramp up quite quick. If you do play World Tour, you will see that. And it also makes things quite interesting, as you don't need to just chase cash outs, but you can also chase bounties. I've seen a lot of unique playstyles in this World Tour so far. I have been playing it and away from Power Shift. Yes, I know, quite amazing, but I wanted to give it a test out. People have been cashing out and then running from the cash out to a bounty in the hopes that they can fight the other squad. It does add some uniqueness, and I'd like to see that new playstyle there. It's definitely changing up the meta from what I've seen in the few games I've played. Now, originally this morning they had a hiccup, being that the event was a bit late and that Headhunter wasn't showing up. But that is now all set and live, and it has been ready to go since 8:30 CST this morning. So you can jump in and experience this new twist on World Tour. For the arenas this time around, it's Monaco, Seoul, Skyway Stadium, and Fortune Stadium. Seems like they love to put the stadiums together, but I definitely get that for their esports and sporting theme aesthetic. Now with the World Tour updates, we always, typically at least, usually get an Oscar community stream. That did happen this morning at 11 AM CST. I pretty much watched the entirety of it, and going through it, listening to it in the background while playing, as well as looking through all the clips. I didn't see any leaks. And again, as I always do, I always check the entire chat log. There was no new leaks that I could go over, especially from Embark Rob. Seems like he might have been absent this stream overall, but we did get a little bit of new intel. So from looking over the clips and what they said on the stream, this happened at the very beginning, but Oscar talks about Season 6 has some of the highest metrics they've seen in a really long time. He mentioned that they saw an increase in player count across the board, and that this is their best performing season in a really long time. Oscar also does talk about this over on the Discord, where he just says here that the best numbers they've had since September. And yeah, if you look at the Steam charts and that breakdown, since we don't have the other platforms, but they've actually had a net increase overall in the players all the way back till September, where we saw a 7% increase in February, but a 38% increase in March. So some great new player counts and new peaks, and that does put them back in the top 100 games in Steam, at least when they are hitting those peaks. That is really, really good to see. As he mentions, the player retention across the board, other than just peaks, has been absolutely phenomenal. I've also seen a ton of videos on the finals pop up on my feed on the homepage. Creators from every space and every sphere have been covering this game, and basically just talking about it in general. I think that is awesome to see for the game. I'm really, really glad it's picking up. Now, I know I did mention that Embark Rob wasn't actually in this community stream this time. Normally, he does stop by. However, if we look at Oscar's message the other day, this was in a joke relating to the April Fool's joke, but he mentions that Principal Rob is very busy. Maybe he's busy with stuff with the finals, maybe he's busy on the major stuff, or he could also be busy on games like Arc Raiders. I might start to cover that game soon if we get any more details around it. Again, if you didn't know, there is a whole nother team and a whole nother part of the studio working on Arc Raiders. That game is set to release in 2025. Keeping it short with that game, though, essentially that might be where he was or where he's at. That's just pure speculation, though. Maybe he's still working on the final stuff. I'm sure he can't always be in every single stream, but I figured I'd feature that and talk about that detail on why he might have not been on the recent stream. As he's usually always there and always drops some content for me, gives me some new leaked details. Moving on, though, we did have some more official news here. This was another social update, where they did get the final release for the Season 5 highlights. As they mention here that the submissions for Season 5 are now closed, and now they have a brand new link here for Season 6. So if you do want to submit those, you can. As they mention here, remember, if your clip makes it into the highlight reel, you'll be amongst the fabulous few to receive this exclusive charm. There is some rules for it in the highlight submission guide. It's also in the form and submission rule, or at least that form that you can submit to. I'll also feature that here, where you have to have that specific format, etc., etc. A ton of details there you can check out. But as they said, Season 5 highlights are now closed, and with that we did get a brand new Season 5 highlight video. This one they're calling Hearing Protection Recommended. Definitely worth a check out. I'll leave a link to it down below in the description. Moving on here, we do have those mentionables from the community. So first up here, we actually have a PSA on Embark's banning system, which it does look like people are getting temporary banned for their username. This person points out that they did for one of theirs. Now, it wasn't a horrible username, but understandably it did get banned. There has been a lot of sketchy names that I've seen throughout the days. I hope they also look at club names. I've seen some really bad ones. I think you know what I mean there. But I hope eventually maybe they do kind of block those out, or at least temporary ban, or even maybe permanently ban those players, especially for repeated offenses. Obviously, there are some that are much higher priority there. People have seen some really bad names, but I am glad that they are at least temporary banning player names for now. This person also pointed out that his Embark ID was reset back to player, and that will be like that for 30 days. Again, really good to hear they're acting upon that. I've heard a lot of complaints about this before, so I'm glad they are taking action there. Next up with the community, there is of my own. This one actually does pertain to my TikTok. I don't use it a ton, I'm not super active on there. However, what I thought was super cool is that Reach the Finals TikTok actually does follow me now, at least over on that platform. But another really cool mention here is they actually did repost my content. They don't have a lot of things here, but my video is actually one of their reposts. Thought that was quite awesome. Again, I don't get a ton of views on TikTok, but I will try to be a little bit more active with my shorts. Maybe I'll do a little bit more promo work with that on the shorts version of my YouTube as well as the TikTok. I'll include a link to it down below if you do want to give me a follow. It would help me out a ton as my content doesn't get pushed a lot on there. Of course, you don't necessarily have to, but it would really help out the channel and my other socials. Speaking of that, I am actually doing a giveaway. Again, through my Discord, I'm going to give away a Season 6 Battle Pass code, as well as $10 worth of multi-bucks. And I'll probably do an additional giveaway on there in a few days, where I do that anything bundle. Essentially, I gift you any item in the game, or any bundle. That one I'll probably post at a later date, but those two for sure will be up on my Discord. So if you do want to check those out, head to the giveaway channel and you can enter those giveaways. Next up here, we do have those other community mentionables. Again, going back to the Reddit, this one might pertain to some Easter egg stuff, which I haven't covered in quite some time. This person points out that this may say something about Iseult, where there is this Wikipedia page, Tristan and Iseult, and it deals with some themes in the medieval times, essentially the 12th century. Maybe there's some play on there. They have a good point. It could play onto that. With all the medieval theming or rumors that we've gotten lately, that might play into it as well. Just a pretty cool detail there. I figured I'd feature that since we haven't talked about Easter egg stuff in quite some time. We have another mentionable here talking about an invisibility grenade as a water balloon. I think this one works really well and could be really cool, especially if they added some unique effects to it, like a splash effect, instead of it being that purple smoke. This actually matches that theming very well, and it can be pretty cool with the water droplets. Maybe they could play into that a little bit. Very decent skin idea though. I would love to see them toy with the effects more, at least pertaining to the gadgets as well as the weapon effects. They do a great job with their cosmetics, but it would just be an extra detail there and a little bit extra incentive to purchase. Last up here, as always, we have those mentionables from my community, where we have one here from Leo Nico, where he throws up the new minigun here from Season 6. Also matching that new Season 6 sponsor, Aspuz. Pretty cool there, and again, I love the matching here as well. Next up here, we have Dewey, where we get some more heavy love here for the TF2 Heavy. And yes, this does really match the TF2 Heavy. That was the meme going around essentially when this minigun came out. I think this does a very good job and really well done justice for it. Again, two really good skins there. Love the outfit themings for the minigun. Overall, should have covered for today's video. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, and into the next one. Deuce.